So today I wanted to talk a little bit about NUTX Health. And if you haven't watched one of my other videos on NUTX, what they do is they basically build and operate small micro hospitals that are placed in areas where there aren't these big city hospitals. And I kind of originally saw this stock around here, probably right at the start of the summer in June. And I just originally identified that the stock had dropped a good bit because there were some fears of potential shareholder dilution. And I kind of just recognized that the stock has really, really strong financials, as I'll talk about in this video. And I really did see the long-term potential in this. It was a short-term pick, but also a long-term pick that I'd be holding for years because I thought that it'd become a multi-billion-dollar company and continue to keep growing. And they were expected to release earnings on I think mid-August, but they didn't. They never ended up releasing them. That was because of some non-financial accounting issues that they had. And I made a video then talking about how, you have to really be patient with this pick because the earnings are delayed and there's a lot of worries and the stock is really not going to perform that well until the earnings are released. Skip forward a few months and we are at a time period where there's a lot more certainty regarding those earnings. And that's kind of something what I wanted to talk about today and why this is an opportunity to invest in a company that I think will be worth many billions of dollars in really just a short time period. And you could really buy into it early here at 700 million in market cap. So I think this is an amazing opportunity. And I want you all to just kind of hear me out on why I think you should definitely make this buy as soon as you can. So to start off, this is the press release that they announced when they delayed those earnings. And basically they just were talking about how they were it was a non-financial delay. They had some issues with prior earnings reports. They had to go back and fix those. It would take a little while, but they did release these preliminary results to give investors kind of a taste of what was to come. And the preliminary results were really spectacular. Their revenue was 244 million for the quarter, which is an increase of 220% from this time last year. The gross profits were up as a portion of their total revenue, big time, almost 50%. Their visits were up 10%, which is great to see. Their EBITDA was up almost 12x, which is insane. Their operating cash flow was up more than 2x. So those were really stellar results. But the problem was that the stock never got a chance to react. You see here, it really just dropped because of that delay. And investors were kind of worried about what happened. And the company got until October 20th to kind of declare when the official earnings would be. And then those earnings that they declare could be, as long as they're before February 20th, everything would be okay and the NASDAQ wouldn't be on them anymore. And come October 20th, which is just recently, they provided this update. The first thing they said was basically highlighting something from Q3. So, they delayed the Q2 earnings, but Q3 is also currently in play. So they gave a little update to investors on Q3, which looks strong. Their patient volume is up, year over year. And also their cash collection has grown 258% year over year, which is great to see. But they also announced that they would be officially releasing Q2 earnings on December 12th, which is really great to see. And, that's really what I think investors are looking for. And you look at the 5-day chart here and it shot up 27%. So that basically all that uncertainty that caused the stock to drop from where it was at 114 all the way down to, the 80 levels was basically gone. They officially announced the December 12th date, which isn't too far from now. And then they're going to, I think, probably delay the Q3 earnings just a little bit, they said, and then those will be released and then everything will be back to normal. They hired a new accountant, so they won't have these issues, hopefully ever again. But that's basically gone. So now now I'm just looking at the company and it's currently at $125. And I think it is worth much, much more. I think it could be worth much, much more in the future. And I think now, especially with earnings looming and you kind of already know the results, is a great time to buy. And, I just look at their revenues. Their revenues have shot up like crazy over the last couple quarters. You look at this huge jump. They're making almost $625 million a year, and the market cap is not much higher than that. So that's kind of a test to how undervalued this is. And then their net income, they recently did just start profiting, which is exactly what I love to see from small companies like this, because they're not going to go out of business. They have tons of cash on them. As long as they can keep building these hospitals, these micro hospitals, and keep scaling the ones that they already built, this could be a very profitable business, I think, in the future. So this is really, I'm not going to make another video on it probably until around December 12th, because nothing will be changing probably regarding NUTX since then. But that gives you a long time period if you're interested in really making a lot of money. This is my biggest position right now, just because I'm really excited about where this could go. And from my first video, that I was at around 120, just did break even on that, which is nice to see. But from here, I see it going to 200, 300. And then you look at the max chart. When it was originally, I talked about this before, when it was originally put on the market in 2022, it was a $7 billion valuation. And the reason it dropped was because the net income, look at this huge drop in net income. They were just really struggling, but they found their groove. And now they are back in the positive for net income, which has sent the stock price up a little bit. You look at the 1 year, up almost 415, more than 415%, but they still have a long way to go to reach the 7 billion valuation, which I think they could easily reach as long as they continue to chug away with the new hospitals that they're building and scale the old ones. So this is by far my favorite pick on the market right now. I would strongly suggest getting into it now. It's already seen a little bit of a run up, but the reason that I didn't make a video last week is because I was interested to see how the stock performed. But investors seem to be loving this news of really certainty that this stock isn't just going to spiral out of control, and they do have a good grip on what to do in these situations. Every small company has challenges like this, so I just am really excited to be in it for the ride with Nutex Health. I think this could be huge in a couple of years. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you're going to buy it. Take into account what I said and why I think really it is one of the best picks on the market right now. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.